So I think people might actually care about this one. Today what we're going to do is talk about. Last session we took a 135, and for those of you that have trained with me, have been on my team for years and years and years, like Justin, you're generally familiar with the overall structure of the Blue Pebble Homes 135 that we kind of stole from KW with a bit of our adaptation to what we like to do. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to use AI with this 135 to help us determine a schedule that works for our calendar. So just to get everyone up to speed, last week we convinced everyone that we would be able to close, I think, what was it, Noah? We would be able to sign 45 agencies. Good.
The one I have down is 15, sign 15 sites before September 30th.
Right, but we have that across 3 different funnels, don't we?
Yeah, so yeah, like 45.
So basically, I think the moral of the story here is that we've convinced everyone that if you were to be extremely organized for 6 hours a day, for, I believe it was 230, didn't we give ourselves 20 days of vacation, right? So 230 days of the year, because there are 252 business days, and then we've got some vacation time and all that stuff. Basically, if you spend an entire year with a determination and discipline unknown to mankind and really crushed your schedule every single day, you would be able to sign 45 agencies in the next 9 months, right? So we understand that this is a lot. 45 agencies from a few is a lot. I'm just trying to show you what the potential is out there, right? And so I would argue whenever someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Jared, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4 deals a year. I want to get to 8, 9, or 10. What do I do?" Oftentimes, does not come down to skills, habits, and systems at that level. It comes down to discipline and time on task over time. And so the first thing we're going to try and eliminate is just make sure, eliminate the inefficiency of our schedule. Because frankly, if it were me and I had rent due on the first of every month and I was there when Blue Pebble started, this is what we were all cold calling stuff, right? Like, for me, I would always want to have more clients as fast as possible and then tone it down if I got too busy versus not really giving it 110% on the front end of the year or month and then having to try to scramble to make it back up, right? So I think the more organized we are around this, the more organized we are around, our time and our schedule and our activities and all those things, then the easier it'll be for us to kind of maintain our momentum and make sure that we're getting to where we need to go by the end of the year. So let's just review really quick. Let's review that 135. So hopefully you see my screen, and this is the 135 that we pulled up on Tuesday and kind of went through together. And it goes through our big priority, which is sign 15 agency size before September 30th, 2026. Remember, if we're going to identify a wildly important goal, it needs to be quantitatively measurable, and there needs to be a timeline. It does not help us to say, I'm going to close 15 agencies, because then I can say, hey, no, that's pretty good over the next 10 years. What are you going to do in the next 3 months? So we want to make sure that any goal we have, especially our wildly important goal, you need to have a measurable thing so you know exactly where you stand every single day. We're not going to say I'm going to give it 195%, because how do we measure whether or not we're giving it 195%? We can lie to ourselves. We cannot lie based on the number of agency sites that we get. And then also we're going to have a timeline, right? So we want to get all these people signed because we understand we're not going to close all of them immediately. And so if we want to close 12 deals in 2026, i.e. 1 deal a month, and we do not have any clients that we're currently working with, if we want to get all 12 of those deals closed in 2026, you got to have those people signed by September. Because if you sign someone at the end of November, what are the odds you're going to close that person in 2026? Pretty low. And so we want to get all 15 of these people signed before the end of September. So we've really got 8.5 months to sign 15 agencies. Now, look, that's under 2 agencies per month if we start today, January 16th. So I would argue if we're working 6 hours a day at a minimum and we're organized about it, we should not only be able to sign 2 agencies a month, we should be signing 6. The question is just like, where are we going to find all these people and who's it going to be? So just going through, you got 15 agency sites from a Met database. So we're going to have 5 different things that we do as part of our Mets. We're going to assign 15 agents from our non-Mets. So there's a whole list of things we can do from a non-Met or a cold database, like open houses, expired listings, that kind of thing. And then we also have a whole agency side from a professional network, right? While we're building a sphere and while we're building a database of people we need to get to know better, don't we also want to be building a database of other hunters who are out there and can refer us whenever they are experiencing, or their clients are experiencing real estate needs? We want to build that tribe, right? So we're going to build a tribe of people and clients who can be our clients. We're going to build and expand that tribe of people individually, the customers that we have, by meeting non-Mets. And then we're going to influence our ability to access more customers by being the leader of a business-to-business tribe where, you know, we are embedded with trust and estate attorneys and financial advisors and roofers and floorers and insurance people who, whenever their clients are talking about real estate, they're going to refer us, right? So not only are we getting access to our databases, we're getting access to databases of all those business-to-business people that we're doing business with. Make sense? Cool. So no, my understanding here is that today what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about how to use AI to develop a schedule. And maybe we could even go one step further and give us a checklist.
I like that.
Right? So that way, not only do we need to know not only can AI help us put this into our schedule, it can also help us stay accountable, right, to sticking to it. I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. So let's do this. Now, for those of you who have been part of my AI trainings in the past, you'll notice that this is a different screen. I am kind of off ChatGPT. I don't really use it anymore. I am like a Claude convert. So if you haven't played with Claude, I would highly suggest you play with it. To me, it is a much better system than ChatGPT. We don't need to get into that right now, but you will notice though that this is Claude. You know, I am going to try and eventually move Sterling over to Claude instead of OpenAI backed, but hey, that's a different process or a different project. But you know, I personally am using Claude a lot more, both Claude for copy and then also Claude Code. It's just a much better system. So
do you pay for it, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it's $100 a month, just like I pay for ChatGPT. So, I mean, to operate Sterling on ChatGPT basically costs $100 a month. And then, you know, I pay for this separately because it's really good. And it saves me a ton of money on Replit too. So, all right. So this is Claude. This is not Claude Code. This is regular Claude. We're just going to use the regular Claude. Just similar to how we would use the regular ChatGPT. Okay. So I'm just going to start with some very basic prompts here, and then we can go through this step by step. I'm going to do my best to do this in, I would say, a piecemeal way, so you guys can follow along and do it on your own while we're doing this too. If you guys need help with I'm going to share. Just make sure you guys all have it. Everyone should have access to this through the Google Drive. I'm going to make sure everyone has. I'm going to copy the link, make sure you guys all get it sent. That should all be in your inboxes right now. I'm also going to share the link to the document in our chat. And so that way, if you want to, what the heck? I don't know what's going on. No. Okay, link in the chat, so now you can get directed from this this coaching chat right now. So what we're going to do though is we're going to start kind of just setting the table for our AI, right? So I think the main mistake that everyone always has whenever they use AI is to just try to dump everything on the AI and expect the AI to know what they're looking for. That is the exact worst way to treat AI. AI is the measurement of, or is the definition of measure 2, 3, 4, 5 times, cut once. So for me, I like to get my AIs prompted with a lot of information and background before I tell it to go, because then that ensures a much higher probability of me getting the right answers that I want, actually when I tell it to go. All right, so let's just give AI a little bit of background here. We're going to say, I'm a real estate broker who created a 135 business plan that is attached to this prompt. So let's upload our business plan. Whoop, I gotta download it first. Just gonna download this as a PDF. We're going back to Claude. Okay. So we've got our file uploaded. We've now got our initial prompt, or at least the initial one. We're not hitting send yet. Don't hit send. Okay. But I'm a real estate broker, create a 135 business plan that's attached to this prompt. I want your help to create a weekly schedule. Now, I think I made a comment on Tuesday that if you're trying to grow a business from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 deals, something resembling 12 deals a year, I think a 5-day work week is aspirational, to say the least. So we're just going to set the guideline that if we're going to be building a business, when we're building, we got to work harder than steady state, right? Doesn't it take more energy to get a plane off the ground than it does to keep it level at 30,000 feet?
Mm-hmm.
It does for what it's worth. So if we're in that rise phase, we got to be putting in more effort, right, than what we want to be putting in the steady state, right? So we're going to say, I want your help to create a weekly schedule that is over 6 days. I do want 1 day entirely off. In order to accommodate all of these tasks that I need to accomplish over a given week, month, quarter, as well as save at least 2 hours per day for potential client activity, including showings, listing appointments, meetings, coffees, callbacks, negotiations, whatever. I'm just curious, Noah, what time do you sign on every day for your real estate business?
I start my calls at 9.
Okay, but didn't we spend like 2 months last year talking about a pre-work routine before you kind of do that?
Yeah. So recently I've been waking up at 6:30 and I heavily into praying and then time to read, whether it's the Story Brand 2.0 or going on a walk, just kind of not rolling out of bed and diving straight into work kind of deal.
All right, so for my schedule, keep 1 hour before my first 135 for mental prep and organizational tasks, and make sure my schedule ends by, just curious, 7 p.m. Are we cool walking in? If we had like a long day from like, let's say 8 to 7, does that feel like, we could handle that if we were working with clients? And if we had like a really full day, 11 hours, 12 hours, feel about right?
Man, I feel like I can do it.
I mean, we're talking about 6 hours a day effectively of these lead generating activities. We already know that, right? And we're going to need to keep a couple hours at a minimum for other client activities we know are going to pop up. We're going to need an hour or so for our mental prep, give ourselves an hour to ground ourselves in the middle of the day, have lunch, go for a walk, take our dogs out, whatever we need to do. So really we're talking about at least an 8-hour day without any sort of client activity. You add back in 2 or 3 hours of client activity, and now we're talking about a 10, 11-hour day. I mean, gosh, wouldn't we be all thrilled to be spending a 12-hour day if we knew it was 6 hours of lead gen followed by 6 hours of client activities at this point? I think everyone on this call would be pretty happy about that, right? So I would say let's make sure my schedule ends by, I don't know, let's just say 8 p.m. assuming a max of 12-hour day with the overflow and additional time for client activities, other catch up. Okay. Before outputting a schedule, please review this task list as well as my instructions and ask me whatever questions you have to clarify so that we can ensure good results when the first draft is done. What are you curious about? And we send. So, your AI might be giving you different questions than mine. If you guys did the same prompt with the same 135, my hope would be that you have similar questions. But what we're going to do right now is just take the time to go through and answer these questions. Okay. So we're just going to go. And what I like to do whenever I have these questions, I just label it, answer, and I give AI whatever information it needs. So let's start my day at 8 a.m. What day do I want completely off? What day do we want completely off? Noah, what do you think? Sunday?
Yeah, I'd say Sunday.
Okay. Are there any hard commitments already locked in your week? Team meetings, recurring calls? Oh yeah. All right. So I've got a 2-hour block of team and pipeline calls on Monday, a team meeting every Wednesday at 1 p.m., coaching sessions on Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m., and Friday from 11 to noon, and monthly masterminds with my team after the last team meeting of that last Wednesday's team meeting from 2 to 3:30. Okay. When are you at your best for high focus work, calls, prospecting, morning, afternoon? I'm at my best in the morning, after coffee. 5, do you prefer batch activities, all calls in one block, or spread them out throughout the day? I prefer batches and blocks for sure. 6, for your weekly open house, do you have a preference? Does it depend on the listing? Let's always keep that on Saturdays. 6, how many hours typically blocked for an open house, including 7 breakdown time? 5 hours. 1 hour before, 3-hour open house, 1 hour after for takedown and commute. 7. Oh. 8. Messing my numbers here. Are you going to work a full day on both weekend days? Or you want one weekend day later? 1 weekend day off, and 1 is a full day. 9, the 100 doors of marketing. Do you want this spread across multiple days or concentrated? Concentrated. 10, at least typically breakfast, lunch, after work. Typically breakfast and or after work. 11, 3 coffee. Are these flexible throughout the week? Or pretty flexible for when they would happen systemically, and I can schedule people around that. 12, lots of tough. For 2 hours of client activity buffer, do you want this as a 1 block or split, 1 hour a day? Let's split this into 2 1.5 hour blocks, 1 midday and 1 at night. Woo! I haven't thought about my schedule that much in a long time. All right, perfect. This gives me a few things I need let me confirm a few things I'm inferring before I build this out. 8 a.m. starts, 8 p.m. match with the first hour reserved for mental prep and organization. How does that sound?
I like it.
Sunday completely off. It's a day of rest. My football and my beer is really important to me. Saturday is your full workday anchored by the open house. Now, by the way, the beauty of having the schedule like this is that let's say you wanted to flip it. So 1 week, Saturday's your day off and Sunday's, you could always do that. Right. So that's why I like having a weekend day off because like everyone else is off. So like it's not as fun when you're taking off a Tuesday and all your friends are still at work. So just make sure that you kind of flip it, right? If you want. Monday, 2-hour time block, Tuesday coaching, Wednesday team meeting, Friday coaching. Great. What time is your Monday 2-hour pipeline block? It's from 1 to 3 p.m. For the 100 doors of door knocking. Are you thinking the day before, early in the week? I'm thinking Thursday, door knock, or Friday, calls to follow up. 3, let's alternate to give some flexibility. 4, separate buckets, right? If they're in your sphere, we can't count them toward your B2B network. Okay, so I think, and we talked about this on Tuesday, some people who start out B2B can make it into your friends and family, but there's a process there, right? And so we just want to make sure that for now, we're going to be separating everything. 5, 1 hour, unless the mastermind is afterward. All right, so the geo prospecting is going to be the same list of houses that we door knocked on. Is there one person steer meeting per week? I was like, I don't see that. Okay, so I think it's just confusing the meetup, right? We said one in-person thing, so it was either a pop-by or a coffee meeting or something, right? So we can block a few of those together, so it's not just like another meeting a day on top of 3 coffee appointments a week. I would say these typically typically your networking coffees last an hour. I would say anything more than an hour and a half is too long, anything shorter than 30 minutes is too short. So I like the 45 minutes, 60-minute kind of range there. And I'd say for concentrated door knocking, maybe 3 hours. All right, we're getting there.
Would priority 3 for the professional network, that's just contact like getting contacts with your professional network, or is that one-on-ones?
What do you mean?
Let me pull it up. I have it here too. So let's see. 10-1. Oh, I see what it means. Never mind. I'm good.
Okay. Cool. Okay, let's see what. Let's do D along with a weekly, monthly checklist so I can keep track and check. Let's see what it does. So yeah, I think this is where Claude's pretty cool. Is like I think it does better at like document generation and stuff like that. Personally, I think it's a little bit better than ChatGPT here on that side of things. Um, and now we wait. Yeah, I mean, I think if you notice, it wasn't just like, hey, here's my business plan, give me a schedule. I think a lot of people who use AI assume it's that easy, and then they get disappointed when AI doesn't do what they tell it to do. uh, it is smart. It's not it's not a mind reader, right? AI uses data to make predictions. That's all this is. We've talked about this before. A large language model just tries to predict what the most likely next word is in the sentence based on its learning of all this information that it currently has. And so if you don't give it any context, if you don't give it a good solid background, then the odds of it getting down the path that you want it to go down are very small because it has an infinite number of ways that it could possibly go. Whereas, this just took us probably about 20 minutes of thinking and answering questions and really giving it parameters by which it could then create, an optimized schedule for us. So, I think this goes to how to use AI in general, in that, if you're trying to do something complicated, you are going to have to spend a lot of time prompting it before it just gives you good output. Right. And so I think that's the main thing to know about. That's absolutely the main thing to know about this whole thing. Is that it's garbage in, garbage out. If you give it crappy information, it will give you crappy information back. Whoa, this looks pretty cool. That's sick.
That's crazy.
That's nice.
That's sick, right?
It's pretty.
It's even color coded.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it even gave us this in tabs. All right. Morning prep for an hour, right? And then it gives it to us in half-hour increments. So, this is a geo prospect. What's going on here? Let's just check out a few things. We're gonna need to move a few things around. So the geo prospecting research has to happen on Monday. So, okay, we're really close. Geo prospecting has to happen on Monday, so we know what houses will be door knocked on Thursdays. Also, the door knock follow-up calls / geo prospecting calls need to happen on Friday or Wednesday, not right before the open house. All right, what else we got? Interest meeting follow-ups, client buffer, an hour and a half. Networking coffee, Sphere Popeyes, client buffers. Look at all this free time. You're done by 5 every day. If you don't have anything going on. Plus like an hour and a half. I mean, isn't this awesome?
I like this a lot because I definitely feel like my schedule is scattered. It's definitely getting a little bit more sophisticated as I'm growing my business and figuring out my activities for the week. But this definitely gives me more of a sense of direction.
This is sweet. God, AI is so cool.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay. Do we want to make our door knocking call? Do we want to make our geo prospecting calls before we door knock or after?
Before or after.
Okay. All right, let's let this simmer. Think for a second. Crazy. This would have taken hours to do a year ago, 2 years ago. Hours.
Oh yeah, Excel forever.
Forever.
Especially getting all the color coding and
Forever.
having to write each columns.
That's
Right.
insane. Let me rebuild the spreadsheet.
And it's gonna do it in like a minute.
A minute. Yeah, just rearrange everything that you've told me. All right. Cool. So this is how it works. So what I will do is upload this into the 135 drive that we have on so you guys can go in there and download this if you want. I don't know. I mean, no, I feel like for you, this could be really, really, really good because it's going to tell you, like, you love to stick to a plan. And so this tells you every
I
half.
need to stick to a plan.
What?
So I need to stick to a plan.
So really funny. I was on a boat with a retired 05 from the Army. And we were talking about different things in the middle, like when do you hire different people to do different things from the military, and what branches do you bring them in from? And he was like, Navy guys, they just need a plan. They'll do whatever, but you got to tell them what to do. Like it's got to be left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, and a Navy man can handle that for you better than anybody else. The Army guys, they're going to take a look at your plan and be like, we don't get it, and then do whatever the hell they want to do anyway. He's like, Air Force if you need administrative stuff, and he's like, Coast Guard if you need someone to be really smart, and then Space Force if you need a nerd. I'm like, okay, that's pretty sweet. But he told me, he gave me this whole background on Navy guys, left, right. So I'm determined, Noah, to give you your step-by-step process this year, so you are not confused.
I appreciate you for understanding.
Hey, Admiral, how do I walk? Well, son, it's left foot, and then right foot, and then left foot, and then right foot, and that's how you're gonna do it. So,
somebody finally understands.
I got you, bud. I got you. It kind of hit me. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's 100% kind of what I was thinking. So. All right, so let's look at our new schedule here, right? So we moved our geo prospecting research now to the Monday afternoons after our calls, right? We still had plenty of all the morning activities around calls, handwritten notes, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's all good. Now, I would argue, remember, right, these are calls, not, we have calls here, not contacts, but if you call 5 people and leave 5 voicemails, call 5 more, right? Like you want to talk to 5 people a day. We don't just want to like leave 5 voicemails to our database. So when we say database calls, there's a whole school of thought that believes it's okay just to have your voicemail pop up and not have someone talk to you. I don't know about you guys, but if I just leave 3 voicemails over 9 months, the odds of me actually getting a relationship with that person isn't really very high. So like when it's not just database, go ahead, Jen.
Most of the business people I know, especially, don't ever listen to their voicemails. If you don't send them an email, text message, or actually talk to them on the phone, they're never going to listen to those voicemails. Never.
I see the transcription pop up. I'm like, oh, do I care? And that, okay. And now I'm down. Right. So I think this is contacts, not calls, especially when we're talking about our database. But like, hey, if it's calls, great. But here is what I just want, and this is what I was trying to get to on Tuesday. And we're going to have to remind Nate about this because I think Nate was a little uncomfortable with how I was advocating about freedom of time with this schedule. Jen's not here. He was pushing back. He's like, this is crazy. I don't have time. Look at how much time you have. Look at all this client buffer throughout the week. Now, look, client buffer means this is when we can schedule showings and listing appointments and buyer coffees and all the things that we need to do to service our clients, right? You have easily an hour and a half a day to do this, if not 4 hours a day, right? And still work a less than 12-hour schedule 6 days a week. Now, I hear you, but Jared, 6 days a week at 12 hours, that sounds like 72 hours. I thought a full-time job was 40. Oh, if you want a full-time 40-hour week job in real estate, go to commercial. They don't work weekends. They don't work nights because all their clients are home, right? For us in residential, when are our clients available? They're typically available at night and on weekends. So if you're not willing, and I'm just going to say this right now. Look, I understand if you have other commitments, right, that prevent you from working a 72-hour work schedule a week. I understand that, right? We have other businesses, we have families, we have kids, we have we have other stuff going on. We can't all be single bachelor entrepreneurs in our mid-30s or early 40s like Jared, where there is no time constraint on us whatsoever, and we can just do whatever the hell we want, right? So I understand that this might not be feasible for everyone. That being said, this is what it takes to grow that business from scratch unless you have something else to pull. So if we don't have this time, It means that we need to start taking this schedule and taking that business plan and removing those things that we don't feel like are going to generate the highest ROI for us. Right. So like, let's say that, hey, Jared, I don't have, I got to drop this down by half. I can give 3 hours at 12 hours a day, or sorry, 3 days at 12 hours a day, but I can't do 72 hours. That's a lot of time. I'm doing, like, I might be able to do some stuff on the fringes, but like that 36 hours a week is all I got. Okay, great. Now let's look through the schedule very easily right here, right? And we can say like, okay, great. Well, where would you be least likely to generate business? For me, I would argue that would be on the door knock follow-up calls, right? And probably door knocking. If you had to cut something,
that would be it.
I wouldn't cut the open house, because you got to build your sphere and you got to go out there and meet people. If your sphere is not where you need it to be, you got to go out and meet these non-Mets, right? And I think we've all agreed that the best way to meet non-Mets is do an open house every single week, right? So if we have to do that, that's what we have to do. Now, I would argue an A+ open house will have prospecting as a result. Like an A+ open house will have prospecting as part of your follow-up and your prep routine, right? It will have a geo prospect, and you'll call all the people in the area. You will door knock all the homes and say, hey, my name is Noah. I am a local real estate specialist, and I want to let you know that your neighbor down the street over at 123 Main, they're holding their house open, and they're asking for your help to help find a new great neighbor for yourself. Who do you know is looking to move into the area right now? Right? Okay, great. Those would be the two things that would be, I would say, least likely and immediate. But hey, if you do the open house, maybe someone walks in that wants to buy it, and now you have a deal, right? What else? You see what I'm saying? And then we just go through the process. All right, cool. We're cutting out door knocking and door knock follow-ups. That's cutting about 5 hours a week. Okay, what else do we got? Well, shoot. Maybe I don't have a professional database yet. Doesn't mean I'm not going to build it, but maybe I don't have it yet. So maybe we can knock out some of these networking coffees, because we just don't have enough people to have coffee with 3 times a week. Right? By the way, it's a lot of client buffer too. So if you've only got 3 days and you don't have any clients, cut out all your client buffer, because you don't need it. Right? Mm-hmm. We need the lead gen side of this, right? So I love this. This is sick. Here's your daily breakdown too, by the way. This is crazy. Weekly checklist, monthly tracker. Man, this is awesome. And we are going to officially make this official by uploading it into our Google Drive. And we will make this a whole thing, which is sweet. I'm going to share that with the brokerage. I think they might care about that one. Okay, so that, guys, is now in your, let's see. Here now is the link in the chat to this schedule that we just made. And I think we just got to start doing it.
I'm blocking off some time this evening to go over my calendar and start implementing that.
Great. Well, here you go. You know, it's all, look, I will tell you, if you stick to a calendar like that for a year, your business will be unrecognizable. And I'll tell you that from personal experience. This is where I was almost 10 years ago now. Like January of 17, didn't know anybody, had 13 people in my database, needed to close the deal in February. Otherwise, I couldn't pay rent in March. What did I do? Cold called, networked, did as much of that as I possibly could until I had a client that took up my time. And then I started peeling back some of that stuff. And then we had to find a balance. And I'll be honest, I worked 90 hours a week for my first 2 years in real estate. So I was working 7 days a week and, 2 open houses a week, cold calling 4 hours a day, 2 coffee appointments a day, networking. Like it's crazy, right? But that's what you need to do if you want to build you need to put in that kind of effort in the time that you have, right? And then the amount of time that you have will just be the dictation for how much your business will grow. But if we're only half-assing, if we have only a quarter of the time, that's totally cool, and we're not putting in 110% effort, then we're not going to get 110% results. And don't just clip the things off your schedule that you don't want to do, right? Isn't discipline doing the things that you don't want to do when you know you have to do them? It's not doing the things. I think this is a Hormozy quote I just picked up from somewhere, right? I think Jake Paul is trying to say discipline is like doing the things like you have to do when you need to do them. And I think Hormozy called out Jake Paul after his fight. And he was like, it's not doing the things you have to do. It's doing the things you don't want to do when you have to do them, right? We all have to go out for beer sometimes. And is that discipline to force ourselves to go to happy hour and hang out with our business connections? I would argue most of the time, probably not. In fact, we're probably looking forward to that, right? The discipline is in, well, shoot, I know I need to do an open house this week because that's how I'm going to grow my business. I really don't want to do it because something else is going on and I could just do it next week. Discipline is okay, I got to give up 5 hours on a Saturday or Sunday to do my open house. So I do an hour before, 3 hours there, and an hour after. And by the way, I probably need a little more time to follow up with everyone who walked through as well. Right? So it's about being disciplined in the time that we do have. And staying disciplined in that time will help us build the businesses based on the amount of time that we have to devote to it. Cool.
Solid.
Was this helpful today?
100%.
For sure.
Okay, sweet. Well, you guys all now have access to the 135. You have access to the weekly schedule. It's in the drive right now. That weekly schedule, as you saw, it came with a daily tracker, a weekly tracker, and a monthly tracker. You'll have to let me know. Feel free to check those out. Let me know how those go. Okay. And now you have hopefully a better idea of how to prompt the AI, right? So let's say you want to do a different 135. I'm not going to tell you how to build your business. Jen, we didn't even get into how you might want to cross-sell. Are there things that you can do that would help your real estate business and your Etsy business at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about that, right? If you want to take your 135 and maybe make a Jen Wick copy of a 135, and then you could go through the same process that we just went through. You could just get the same output in different form, personalized to J Wick.
Right.
Right. Same thing with you, Justin, because I know your sphere is in a different shape than Noah's. So Justin, if you want to be more focused on your existing B2B database, because that's what you have right now, and you want to cut down some other stuff, go for it, plug it in, make sure all the math works out in terms of your numbers on your 135, and then plug it into the AI and have the AI output a schedule for it.
Right. That's something good for sure.
For sure. Well, let's do it. Okay, so I'm just saying, look, Tuesday we'll go on to our next topic. I think this week was great in terms of getting us organized around business planning and giving us a path to close these 12 deals by the end of the year, right? I'm showing you it doesn't matter. You could start out with 0 today. If we all have 0, that sucks. We're not going to clap for zeros. We don't give zeros claps. We're just saying that sucks, and now we have a plan to get better, right? And following this plan, we designed this whole thing so that if you just do this between now and the end of September, we're not even talking about 12 months, your business will be different by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Before you guys go really quick, Jared, just so you guys know, I am with my Etsy store. If anybody needs marketing material or even personal items, I am offering a 15% discount to any Blue Pebble member and Banner Lending member that is in need.
Thank you very much, Jen. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So keep that in mind, guys. You need swag, call Jen Wick. She can print it for you.
Yep.
Or sublimate it. Is that it's a different version than print?
Kind of, yeah, but yes, I can do it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Jen. Really appreciate it. And you guys have a great weekend. Let me know if anything pops up between now and then. We'll talk on Tuesday about something. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but we'll talk about something on Tuesday. And let me know if you guys have any issues as we kind of go through and create schedules, incorporate 135s, do all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Talk to you later.
Take care.
See you guys.
Have a good one.